The Loan Finance API is written for general loan management, regardless of whether it is a loan like a mortgage, a car loan, a line of credit, or even a buy now, pay later. Any type of financing is intended to be supported. It also supports several duration types, including seconds, minutes, hours, the more popular months, loan made on a monthly basis, or years, which is the case for like mortgages. Now, it's agentic ready, meaning we're now in a world in which the borrower could be an agent and the lender could be an agent. So agents could lend each other resources. They could designate those loans in minutes, as small as minutes, or even still as months. So the APIs are arranged in the following way. There's, of course, the project management, which is projects that wish to issue loans will be authorized. And then the next step is to create a loan product. Loan product just creates a template of the kind of loans that the project wishes the lender and borrower to be able to engage in contract in. It could be, the product could be described in any way. It could be like business loan, flash loans, mortgage loan, and they could have duration type, like I explained. They could have different financing type, acceptable interest rates, range, duration range, principal range, or down payment ranges, or credit score ranges. Now, the credit score model is supposed to be interfaced with this. It does computations of credit score based on the history and other factors, and utilize intelligence means to compute those credit scores. So any loan that will be created under this type must include borrowers that fit that score. There's a grace period, which is how you determine a loan is late based on the duration type. So if a loan is duration type is 1 hour, which is what our test will be, so that we can complete a complete test. So we'll set up a loan product which is lending out in hours, and we will have a grace period of half an hour to pay once it's due at the end of each hour, and then of course different penalties and the supported tokens, how you pay, which is mostly stable coins, although it could be any token on the platform. And then if the loan can be paid off early without any penalties. If this is not true, then the loans would assume the interest rate will be calculated until the duration of the loan, even if the borrower chooses to pay early. So we're going to go ahead and set up this loan product. The project owner and password can actually be provided in the header, as is typical. Actually, that's the preferred method. So these two can be provided in the header rather than in the body. All right, so we have set up the loans. There are other things you could use to manage the loan. You could check the loan info, which is just to get the information on the loan type. And you can check the rates, which is a range, duration, which is a range. The product page, I didn't mention this, it's a product page which allows the project to describe the type of products that this loan type is intended to support. Then you have amounts, tokens, penalties for people to see what those conditions are. And then it's credit card ranges, and you can update the product page. All right, so the next step is to actually create a loan of this type. Okay, so once a lender and a borrower wishes, they can actually, depend on how the project decides to set up the user interface, can go ahead and create the loan of this type. Its duration is going to be 2 hours because it inherits a bunch of things from the product type. So it inherits the duration type, which is hourly. It must comply with the principal ranges, down payment ranges. But there are several things that protects both borrower and lender. First is a down payment period. Once a loan is accepted by both sides, the borrower has this time limit to put down the down payment. If they don't, the loan switches to not funded, and that closes the loan. And if the borrower has deposited some amount, then they'll be able to just simply withdraw it. A disbursement period also to protect the borrower, because if they put their down payment down and the lender doesn't put in the financing, we don't want a scenario where the borrower's funds is locked in there indefinitely, waiting for the lender. So they have half an hour. Then funding withdrawal period, this is the time that the borrower has to withdraw the funds once it's been disbursed. And this is this will interface with the service that will provide this number. Okay, the loan has been created. We will copy the loan address, which we're going to use subsequently. This loan address is going to be used to manage the entire loan between this lender and this borrower. It's going to manage the entire funds. The lender will deposit the down payment into it. The borrower will deposit the down payment into it. The lender will be able to disburse the principal, and then the borrower will be able to make interest payments. All right. So the first step is initially, this is a loan that's in an initialized state. So we're going to look at the loan status. After this, for the loan to become active, both lender and borrower will need to accept the loan. So the lifespan of a loan is it's initiated initially, then it becomes active when both lender and borrower has accepted it, and then it becomes post down payment or down payment complete after the borrower has deposited the down payment, and then it becomes disbursed when the funded when the lender has deposited the loan funds, and then it's disbursed after the borrower has retrieved the funds, withdrawn the funds, and after that, the borrower begins to pay back. Those are for loans of the regular secured or unsecured financing, right? For loans that are line of credit, then in disburse phase, borrower can still continue to withdraw from the loans even while they are also making payments. All right, and another difference, let's go back to the loan product type. It's very important to mention this, the way the interest rate works. When a loan is of type a regular loan, okay, this interest is over the span of the life of the loan, right? For line of credit, the interest rate is supposed to be inputted on a monthly basis or on a duration basis. So if the duration is monthly, then that is the interest rate for the month, because the line of credit really is just a rolling loan. BNPL is similar to a loan. So let's look again at the credit loan to see the parameters, so we interpret it for this particular loan. So this loan is an hourly loan. Duration is 2 hours, and the interest rate is 15%. This means that in 2 hours' time, the total interest that will be paid is 15%. So 115 uh, uh, units NGN will be due. If this were a BNPL, then this would mean on a monthly basis, on the hourly basis, based on the duration, every hour this interest rate is due, right? So this should be entered accordingly. Okay, so let's proceed now to check the loan status. We already did, it's initiated. The lender will accept the loan. It doesn't matter the order. The lender and borrower just need to sign the loan. Blockchain's addresses are based on signature, so they will both have the private keys. And if they have the private keys and they input that to accept this loan, then we need to put in the loan address. So let's put in that loan address. Then we'll have them accept that so that the loan can switch. So lender is accepting the terms of the loan after reviewing it. And so now it's accepted by lender. And we'll do the same thing for the borrower. And the borrower has his own keys, and they will use it to accept the terms of the loan. All right, so it's been accepted by the borrower. So let's check the loan status again to confirm if the status has changed. All right, so the status is now active. All right, so the next step is there are various calls to manage to get loan information. You can get the loan deeds, review is the balance. So the balance is initially 0. So the next step is we're going to actually have the borrower deposit his down payment now. The down payment required is 5 NGN. So we're going to just go ahead and do that. Shouldn't take a few seconds, and this is going to be propagated on chain. This is a fast blockchain, so a lot of things just take about 2-3 seconds. All right, so we've deposited made the down payment. Now let's check the status again. After the borrower has deposited, down payment complete, and let's check the balance in the loan address. Okay, so that's fine. So the next step is lender is going to now deposit the funds, right? Remember also that there are other measures, which is 100 NGN. The other measures to make sure that both are performing as expected, there's a time limit for the borrower to deposit down payment. Same for the lender, which is the time to disburse. And then, of course, the time to withdraw. Funds withdrawal time period, which now is the time given for the borrower to withdraw that. If the borrower doesn't withdraw all of it, then the loan switches immediately to disbursed, and any funds left really just goes back to the lender, and the interest is going to be computed on how much the borrower has withdrawn. All right, so here the loan has switched. Let's check the status. The funds have been deposited. So now it's funded, and now the interest begins to accrue, right? And the borrower has time to withdraw this. It is at their own pace, but obviously being aware that the loan will switch to funded, because we don't want a situation where the contract can be gamed, where the borrower could just take out only 99% of the funds and leave an amount just so the status does not switch. Okay, we can check the balance now. And the new balance is 105. Okay, so now the next thing is borrower will withdraw the funds and use that for the purpose that they need to use it for. So the only a borrower who has the keys will be allowed by the loan to withdraw. So now the borrower is withdrawing. Okay, so the borrower has withdrawn the loan amount, and the balance of the loan should now be back to 0. And now the borrower has time to utilize the loan for the purposes that they wish to. Now, one thing we really need to recognize is that these are actually blockchain transactions, right? So even though the loan address is a contract, transactions going into it will all be reflected on chain. So let's refresh the Universal Explorer and see if we see those transactions. So yes, so here is the down payment, which was made from the borrower to the loan address. This is actually the loan address, right? And then the lender put the 100 NGN into the loan address, and then the borrower from the loan address retrieves the loan and his down payment back for use. Okay, so now we are at the stage where interest begins to accrue on the loan. So let's see what the payment due is, just to confirm. All right, so we see that principal due after the first time duration is 50, right? Interest due is currently this amount. It's going to be, at the end of this period, it's going to be like 7.5. Right, so the total due at the end of this time duration is this amount. And then remember, for it to be considered late, the borrower has 0.5 of the time duration, which is 30 minutes in this case, to pay what is due. All right. They can, of course, pay early, but this loan, I think there's an early, I don't remember if we have an early payment penalty. If they pay early, the the loan interest will still continue to accrue if this is not paid off in full. So there are provisions to handle all of that stuff. Let's take a look at some other things. We can take a look at the interest paid, principal paid, amount withdrawn by borrower, amount deposited by lender. All of that stuff should be things that can be tracked. That can be tracked. Now, for loan monitoring, we can see all the aspects of the loan. All right, so here's the loan address. The principal is 100. Total withdrawn is 105, but that includes down payment, but actual principal is 100. Total owed now, including interest, is this amount. Status is disbursed. Now let's look at the timestamps. All right, so the current time is in UTC is 1846. Activation time is 1839. Down payment complete was at 1841. So 1846, 1841, funded at 1842, disbursed 1843. And so there's no lateness yet. So all of that is good. So we're going to pause now and we'll come back at the end of an hour and look at how the loan is performing. It has been at least an hour. Definitely more since we created this loan and disbursed it. So we're gonna now check the payment due. It's been more than an hour. This is an hourly loan that was issued for 2 hours. So after the first hour, some amount should be due, right? Okay, so we are at current duration 2. We're in the second hour. We've passed the first hour. What is due in interest is $8. So it's not yet 2 hours, but it's more than 1 hour because 750, half of that $15, 15 NGN should have been due, and now 8 is due. There should be, if it's more than 30 minutes since the payment was due at the end of the hour, based on the grace period, there should be some late fees due. Let's go check that. We can check the loan timestamps just to make sure we are in the right zones. Okay, so disbursement time was 1843, and the time now is 1948. So it's just a little bit of an hour. There will not be any late fees yet. We can confirm that here. Payment due. Actually, payment due already showed that there's no penalties due. Okay, but we will go ahead and make the payment. What we owe in total is $108. So that will pay. We can pay early. So we'll pay early. $108. It probably is already 108.3. So we'll just pay that off. Deposit repayment. Okay, so this is going to be the borrower depositing. I'm going to deposit 108.3. I forget the amount, but this is okay. Remembering that this amount is accumulating rapidly, it's just better to pay in this manner. And since we have the penalties. Since it's allowed to pay. Oh, look, it paid this amount. Let's close it off. Okay, so we'll close the loan off. And now let's go check the loan status. Completed. So this loan is done. Okay, the final step is the lender will withdraw their funds from the loan. So let's see what the balance is. Yeah, so we have the balance 108.89, which lender will withdraw. So this is 108.89. So we're going to change this to lender. We're going to try and withdraw everything, but let's remember that there's a platform fee, which is like 1%, and like 1 NGN that the loan can keep. Okay, so we need to retain that commission in there. All right, so let's just make it 107. So the lender has taken all their funds out. And that's really the end. The admin can withdraw the platform commissions. So that's it. Projects can set up loans, products, and allow members of their communities to set up actual loan agreements between each other. Or projects can set up the loans between the lenders and the borrowers. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to the Toronet team to assist you. But this API collection will be available for projects as well.